Okay. Should be good.
Okay, so before I forget, pressing start now. So I'm just going to talk to everyone. So Nana's back, just another day in the den. So this is something I found out from TV tropes. Apparently, there are a few changes to some of the dialogue, depending on your character's sex.
Ah, what does that
They're
mean?
very... nothing much. I only know about it for one character. You know that Haruomi guy? The guy with the black leather jacket?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he will hit on the player's character if the player is a female.
Ah.
That is the only...
So you were saying?
So that is the only example of the text changing depending on the character's sex, but other than that, it's mostly the same.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm just talking to all the NPCs, wandering the place, because Falcom has conditioned me. Okay, little girl that has the Black Plague, you're going to die horribly and there's nothing you can do about it. Seeing hours have ended for the day. Ah, man. I was going to... At least I did not say oh man, but I'm going to add the one that I just said to the oh man compilation, and I will include the one that I just said as well. Do you want to know how many times I have said the word like? Just from episode 8.
Ah, no idea.
Episode 8 was 2 hours. I said like over 75 times.
Wow.
And I am probably missing a few. I actually told my cousin about that, and she thought it was the funniest thing. Okay.
You could be a streamer for Exceed if you continue like that.
I think you have to talk to Nana or something. Because it's not letting me accept... It says Momo cannot accept the mission.
Oh, where is she?
She is in the lounge.
The lounge. Oh, the lounge. It's on the left.
So, remember how the lounge, this entryway, was not here before?
Mm-hmm.
Did Fenrir just gut a door open? Did they just gut open an entire wall and added a room?
I don't know.
Because it's just here now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I talked to Nana, I think. Yeah, I did.
I have no idea if you... Try talking to Julius here in the front, because... No, Julius is in the lounge.
Yeah, I talked
Try
to
talking to him there, because... I'm just...
I just talked to him now, so it should be fine.
Okay, that did not work. Try talking to Dr. Sakaki in the... laboratory, I think? No, in the executive section.
Oh, man.
Man, when do we get the good clothes?
It's always at the end of the game, or...
Yep, okay, there we go.
Ah. Nice.
Let's go. Support. By effect. Yes, by effect. Okay, so it's hold. Full burst 5. I'm just picking the support stuff now because... I really need to work on the character's personal abilities. Oh, great, the lava place. I remember that place.
Oh no.
I just realized I forgot to bring pills.
Oh no.
I'm still angry. No, we don't have another VCR in this house. The only VCR is the one there. I look in his room and there's a bloody Sony VCR. I'll never get over that. It's Sony made yeah, sure they started off with Betamax, but then they made VC. Yeah, they still made pretty good VCRs.
Well, they had to because, well, Betamax was a failure, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, Sony. What was it called? What's the name of the company? RCA or something that made VCRs? We had a conversation about this the other day.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Isn't it? Oh,
V something. It's the Victor something company.
I forgot.
JVS.
JVC. Yeah, JVC.
They made pretty good ones, but they weren't as good. They kind of made the standard, but they were the best of the standard. That thing's dead.
Oh.
They made the best of the standard.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of hardware, it's Sony always made good stuff, especially back in the day. Now they kind of make all kinds of levels of, you know, from bad to good. I mean, before it used to be all. That's one thing people have complained about a lot in the recent years, is that Sony used to be this, I guess, high-end consumer company, and then they chose to make like low-end stuff on top of the rest. So yeah, I'm not against it.
I mean, I can understand why they would do that. They are a business. They want to make money, and there's more money in the general consumer market.
Yeah.
But I wish they would show off more of their high-end stuff as well.
Yeah, same. They focus
best way
a bit
to
too much on the low end.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh no,
cut you in the middle.
I mean, imagine what it would be like if the PS4 Pro came out at launch, and the regular PS4 was the consumer grade. The PS4 Pro was the, oh, this is the better version that, if, you know, if you have money, you can get.
Yeah.
That way, I think that would have been kind of nifty, because then that way, developers would have already been able to develop for it, rather than having to patch in a few fixes to games now.
You know, you
but
remind me of a story when I had my friend yesterday at my place. So he was talking about the fact that he bought a Bose headset, like not a headset, just headphones just so he can listen to music. And he was like, man, I'm not too happy with it. It's kind of expensive and it doesn't sound that great. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And then he says, can I try your Sony headphones? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he puts on the headset, starts some music, and says, man, I got scammed.
yeah. Okay. Oh man, I didn't know if that was you over there that it was kind of aiming for. I was about to yell block, but I thought you were behind me.
Oh.
Actually, that's one thing about God Eater 3 that I kind of noticed. There's this ability where you can link up with another player.
Oh.
So, if I were to link up with your character, I would be more able to tell where your character is spatially on the map. instead of needing to rely on the mini-map for that.
I see.
I think you can only do it with one player at a time, but again, I'd probably link... This is going to sound really awful, and it's just going to make things worse, and it's going to be taken completely out of context. I would link up only with you, just so only so I could find... to keep track of where you are. Oh, I just thought of a joke with that now. So if we ever actually end up doing the comic, it's going to be a leash. It's not a link system, it's a leash.
Oh man.
What am I?
The origami has fallen. Seize the advantage. Well done.
At least you don't need as much healing as before.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Do you think you will fly this place? Conditions have been
Is it moving
fulfilled.
away
Link
or
support
something?
Yeah, it's moving away. You're going the correct way.
Okay, at least that's good to know. Ah! This dungeon is still as hard to see for me.
I just don't like it because this is one thing I kind of like about what I saw from the God Eater 3 footage. The fields look a lot more open.
Oh yeah.
That's one problem I have with this game. It always feels like the areas are too enclosed, with a few exceptions.
Yeah, it does. That's true.
Oh no! And I got hit. Oh, I just realized I'm almost dead!
Oh.
Why can I not?
Shield, you're in danger. Disengage from combat. Aim and fire.
Yeah, I'm just shooting the feces out of it. That's the great thing about the blast gun. I can just load up on bullet. You can just conserve your ammo a lot, and then as soon as you have the maximum amount of OP, as soon as you have 9 tanks of OP, you can just unleash Gehenna on enemies.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't come with homing lasers. I think I shot you, and not in the good way.
The origami is breaking off its attack. Where are you going?
That should be a compilation as well.
I just do it.
You should do a song with it, like, you know, you do a remix of all this.
That would... Okay, I can do like and oh man, and that's going in the like and oh man compilation, and the more I say it, the more I'm just going to have to add to that. But I am not doing an compilation because there would be so many, I think I would go insane.
Yeah.
These things already take a while for me to edit, to take out all of the stuttering and like and oh. Okay, I do not take out the likes and oh mans, and I need to stop saying that already. Because even if I'm saying it as a clarification, I'm still saying it, and I'm still going to end up adding it to the compilation.
Does it count if I am the one saying "oh man"?
No, I don't count you. I only count myself because I'm the one with the terrible habits.
I'm just playing with my following my let's say, what do you call it? I just move as I like. I just feel it, I guess. I don't even see that much, so I try to just kind of like playing.
Block.
Oh, kind of like playing in auto mode, I guess. If you know what I'm saying, autopilot.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to focus on playing and talking at the same time.
It is difficult. I think that is... Oh, wow. I actually died. I died before you.
Yeah, that is amazing. I'll be honest. I would not expect that. Oh.
I think it's because you're actually playing more cautiously than I am, whereas I'm just berserking.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I try to not go too rashly. Ah.
Actually, where... Boff.
We're now 10 minutes into this mission.
So one thing I kind of hate about this game is that the NPCs do not really buff each other.
Oh,
Beta, what's your health, alright?
I kind of wish they did because they... Man, it would make the... It would make going through these much more easily if they could just maintain their own buffs.
mm-hmm.
Critical hit.
I have no idea. Maybe they do buff each other and I'm not paying enough attention. Okay, so Nana and CL are not buffed. So if... Well, now they're buffed, but they're only buffed at level 1, so that's not really... But if they ever go to level 2, then they do buff each other.
I forgot, was it different in Resurrection?
What do you mean different in Resurrection?
Well, did they buff each other?
No, no one buffed each other in...
I don't even remember it. Oh, shiny. Right to a big menacing monster. Oh, a shiny! Completely disregarding the big monster next to it.
Ah, faces! Oh, man! Ah, there I go! I said it again! All I have to do is use the special shot, and then Nana and CL will just keep buffing me. It's great! There we go!
Yay! It's dead.
I need to use the gun more often because now that you have good enough defense to actually survive, shooting this thing is so easy. I just shoot it from very far away, and I do more damage than I would going up and trying to hit it.
Don't forget to search for materials. Think of all the cool stuff you could find.
I can't go in the lava. Well, actually, I'm grateful I cannot go in the lava. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, otherwise...
I'm getting Fantasy Star Online 2 flashbacks. I mean,
Oh, man.
You earned yourself a nice
because I remember I was playing the game and I would always go into the lava and die.
Oh, I remember that.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, awakened blood arts. Now, when do I get the good stuff like Kevin?
Who knows?
Hi.
It sure takes a lot longer on without Kevin, that's for sure.
I was just watching Mutsumi.
Do you have a minute? I'm just thinking in my head to talk about our Lord and Savior or something. I don't know.
She'd probably talk about food as a religion.
When she was done, she said that I could use the leftover ingredients to make anything I wanted. I've never tried cooking before. It was so I made this. And I thought
It's
about
poison,
who I
isn't
wanted
it?
And who I want.
Probably. But, what is it?
It is orange and green. It is an orange and green pill.
Let's try it together.
cook something and end up with a pill?
Was it awesome?
That's
So awesome.
interesting.
Even the first time I cooked, stamina has recovered, venom status required.
Great. That's exactly.
So,
what
it made us
exciting.
energetic,
So
but it
much
also
sweetness
poisoned
is
us.
become An infusion of. Well, they say good medicine is supposed to taste kind of bad. That's totally it. I'll tell Lika. I'm sure she'd like. Thanks a bunch. You
Okay, I'm a terrible cook. I will completely and utterly massacre. Just outright destroy food because I think that's delicious. Have you ever met one of those people who order pizza with quote-unquote everything on it?
Oh yeah.
And then because everything is on it, the taste is a mishmash of flavors that do not complement each other that well. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of guy I am. I do that, and not even my taste is that as bad as Nana's.
It's waiting for you.
Oh. I just noticed my character is wearing very strange gloves. So, the gloves that my character is wearing they are fingerless on the pinky and ring fingers. Are they called anything different in French?
Wait, what? I was reading the subtitles. Sorry.
Oh, my character is wearing gloves
Uh-huh.
that they are fingerless on only the pinky and ring fingers. I just find that odd because usually those aren't the ones that you need dexterity for.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to buy pills. Special blood power woke.
Same. Time for pills.
Actually, I do not even remember. How did our character awaken the blood power? I cannot remember. It's been
don't-
so long.
Yeah, I don't either, so I just said I don't know.
I guess it was with a meal, but I do not remember. All I remember is that I hate a meal.
Yeah, same. uh,
Let's see. I love how the idol character wants to do a meet and greet, but her manager just says, "Ah, that's annoying. I'll just secretly delete this from the schedule."
that is kind of funny.
So the song is not stuck in my head. But for some reason, the concept is stuck in my head. Remember the time when, what was her name? I think her name is Yuno, the idol character? When she sang for that commercial with the really poor audio?
Oh yeah.
All I can remember is how much I was just cringing at that song.
Man, I mean, in this world in Garita, they must be very desperate because using cassette tapes as media. I mean,
I know! Actually, you would probably not be far off on that because I think in God Eater Resurrection, there's this one show that Kota really likes. And it's one of the few surviving shows. They were able to find a few copies of it. they were able to find copies of this show from before the origami apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
So, I would not be surprised if they only found those episodes of that television show on VHS tapes. I would not be surprised.
And we have like circular screens and
I will never get over the circular screens. What? Squares make sense because you. But I have no idea. Having a I didn't. To me, squares just make sense because because if you look at a book, you tend to read if a book was shaped like a circle, then the text would become very misaligned at some point.
yeah.
I mean, of course, you have comic books that have text bubbles, but that's kind of a different medium, so it's not really a good equivalent. But anyway, if you were to read a book, everything the squares or rectangles because the text is easier to manage that way.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to overcomplicate hardware for printing, all of that stuff. But circles? What?
I forgot that.
I wonder what meeting that came up in this universe.
Probably the same team that created the Xbox One. No, I'm just joking. I have a great idea. How about circular screens? It's gonna be amazing.
The next XBone is going to be the XBone
Zero. The Xbox Zero.
The XBone Zero. Yes, the XBone Zero. All encompassed in a circle, like the Xbox One, which is a zero. We're going to have zero screens, which means it's going to be a circular screen.
Yes.
Romeo, stop being useless already.
Oh man.
You must tend to your wound.
Oh, my video signal just went out. What the fuck? I think my the game capture thing is kind of. I have that sometimes.
Do you have to restart
It's
the
fine.
video recording?
It's fine. It just went back. It just goes to black screen for like 2 seconds and then it comes back. So it's I don't know why it does that sometimes. And when I restart my computer, it just fixes it.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Do what you were born to do.
It is very strange. And after circular screens for the ultimate version, X screens in shape of X's.
Oh man. I need to stop saying "oh man."
But
That's going to be the.
boss, isn't it just unpractical? Shut up. That's
Shut up! We were going to have online only. We can think of even more impractical things. I will say this though about we rag on XBone and Microsoft all the time, but if there's one thing that there is one thing that annoys me about Sony. It's no crossplay. I hate
yeah,
that.
that's bullshit. I agree. I completely agree on that. Oh man.
I mean, I can understand why, but that's some people just don't.
Origami activating.
To me, I think that a console should stand on its own because of exclusive software and features that are only on that console rather than the multiplayer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what's funny to me? So I know it's not really a good example considering the game, but if you look at games like Yakuza that have been exclusive for so long, and then we're gonna bring them to PC because money. But then Sony refuses crossplay, but they're okay to let go of their franchises on PC.
Well, I think it is mostly a Sega thing.
Yeah, I know, but they have product placements. Like Sony has, Yakuza has always been a Sony thing. I'm sure you know about that, but
Yeah, I figured.
I know it's not a big franchise. It's just an obscure Sega thing, but still, I just find it kind of ironic when you see that Sony is okay to let go of some things, but then they don't want you to crossplay in games.
I mean, I do not really cross play multiplayer online, but I still think I would like the ability to.
If necessary. I mean, isn't it possible in Fantasy Star Online too, though?
Yes, it is actually. But I think that's only because Sega had to do some dealings because it is an MMORPG. And if you cut the population of an MMO, that's really bad.
I heard it runs like shit on the Switch, by the way. Yes, it is.
Well, you're playing on the cloud! Cloud gaming, everyone! Oh, that reminds me. Remember how Resident Evil 7 is going to be on the Switch on the cloud?
Oh no.
I find that funny. No one likes that. I cannot find anyone that can reasonably defend Resident Evil on the cloud on Switch.
Yeah, I think that is a big shortcoming of the Switch. That is honestly its big weakness, storage space. That's a really big problem because the Switch has like PS Vita kind of storage capacity.
So here's my thoughts on that. Just reduce the visuals.
Yeah.
I'm just killing this to restore OP. I'm just hitting this because you still get OP from dead enemies.
Ah. I see.
Anyway, the other enemy is up ahead this way. But yes, just reduce the visuals. Put them on low quality. Gehenna, make the game run at 720. Make the game run at 720p. Reduce the texture quality.
Well, it does run at 720 maximum. Like it doesn't run.
Yeah, 720 just have it run at 720 maximum. Reduce the texture quality, and I don't like it. But if you're going to, I don't like it. But reduce the frame rate.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the case already. If you look at games, like the current games right now, they kind of run like. I mean, they don't run that well on the Switch. Even the exclusives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not to shit on the Switch. I have one myself anyway, so it's not like I want to shit on it, but it's just the fact that games don't run that well on the Switch, and that's how it is. I mean, it's like a mobile phone with a controller attached to it, really, if you think about it. So, what can you do about that? Plus, the storage is. That's one thing I really hate about it, is the storage capacity. It's just, I know you can put a card, but you know, putting games on external storage all the time is not really a good thing, I would say.
No, I'd be fine with putting the games on external storage. The problem is you can't transfer saves.
I know, and that's one thing I really hate. Also, I don't think you can manage any sort of data by yourself. Not even pictures. You can't even move them manually. You have to like put the card, you know, like just get the card, put it in the PC or something if you want to save your screen caps or whatever, short videos. It's really badly. I think the interface is bad of the Switch. I think it's not well made at all.
I mean, at least XBone and PS4 will let you. What's what I'm looking for? You can save it onto a flash drive.
Yeah.
But With Nintendo, no. If you wanna back up your saves, you have to pay 20 USDs a year. You have. It's sort of like the reverse thing that Microsoft and Sony are. I say sort of because there's still. Where, with Sony and Microsoft, you have to pay 60 a year if you want to play online.
Yeah.
But you know, there are at least still some benefits to it. With Nintendo, it's okay, we won't give you benefits at all. We won't give you standard benefits that these other things can do unless you pay us money.
Yep.
Such a bullshit series.
I know. I'm hoping they update the interface, like the OS, because I think right now it's just not good. I don't know, it feels like the Switch is way behind in terms of connectivity as well. I don't care about social media and stuff, but I don't know, it just feels, when you see the PS4, everything it can do, and browse the internet and, I don't know, do all kinds of things and multimedia and yeah. If my PC dies, at least I have something in the meantime to, you know, to have internet and do something on my TV or whatever. That's my Switch. No, the Switch cannot do anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even, I don't know, a streaming app, or I think there's Netflix coming on it or whatever, but I don't care. I don't watch Netflix. But yeah, it's just Nintendo, I guess. If it was Sega though, if Sega survived, we would have gotten all those things and more, I'm pretty sure. If you see how
If Sega survived, then we would be in the good timeline.
Yeah. Look at the Dreamcast, I mean that thing had a browser, like you could put a CD in it with a keyboard and stuff and you could just browse the internet in 1999 on the console. That's something people forget, but back in the day, that must have been like the shit, you know?
I know.
You could even, I think you could, I don't know, it had something to do with Phantasy Star as well, like there was something, whatever. The Dreamcast was kind of ahead of its time for that.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't last very long.
Man, think about what it would be like today if it was, instead of Nintendo versus Sony, it would be Sega versus Sony.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I honestly think that Sony would really have to step up their game if they had,
Sega.
if Nintendo had died and they had to compete with Sega, because Sega actually, from what I can tell, they really wanted to push hardware limitations.
Yeah, they really wanted to. Plus, they actually had very, very good franchises. Like, they kept all of their good franchises alive. On top of that, on top of having like good hardware and something really interesting, that would have been very, very interesting to see the competition.
Maybe we would have had a good PSO2.
Yeah. Could you imagine also like having all kinds of new Phantasy Star offline games, like versions? You just go to your local store and you see Phantasy Star, whatever name, the newest Phantasy Star on your local shelf, on local store shelves. That would have been nice.
One thing I just hate about Nintendo is I have to commend them for it. They do try to do nifty things with a lot of gimmicks, and again, very commendable. But one thing I hate about Nintendo is that they have to use their gimmicks a lot.
Yeah.
And
one thing that bothers me more is the fact that they always choose to. I mean, putting aside maybe the Super Nintendo, I would say they always have had to choose the cheapest low-end hardware though, like, because they create interesting things, sure, but it's like it runs always on really underpowered hardware. And I'm not saying, oh, PC Master Race, you know, I want the most powerful thing in the world, no, but at least something that can keep up with you know, the times.
Yeah.
Because look at the Switch, it's already pretty much you know, begging for its life, and it has to rely on the cloud already to run games, and it's been out for what, like for like 2 years, a year and a half, I forgot.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine the future of the Switch, especially for AAA games, because okay, cheap games, whatever, like cheap obscure JRPGs, fine, but the rest, like, how are you going to run the latest whatever AAA game on that? That's not gonna work, is it?
No, Max, here's what they're probably trying to do. They're trying to turn it into an indie machine.
Have you seen all the shit on the store, like all the mobile shit from Android?
Oh yeah, they're putting in so much mobile feces in the store.
Yeah, it's annoying. So much for the Nintendo seal of approval, right?
Wait, is that still a thing?
I don't know, but I think it's funny. Probably not, to be honest. I don't think... Actually, I don't even know. Maybe it is. Eri Kitami app, Nintendo seal of approval.
They bring back the Nintendo seal of approval, and then all games start becoming worse.
And like, they put out all that junk on the store and decide to just randomly stick those badges on the games. Approved by Nintendo is like a piece of shit thing.
I remember when the Switch is going through the same thing that the PlayStation 4 went through, where it used to be on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 and the Vita would have all of these spectacular indie games on them, like on the stores. And people really like that. You know, people would also make fun of it because like, ah, haha, it only has indie, that's all it does, I already have that on PC, whatever. But it was a great way to get indie games, and unlike Steam, it was well curated. And then Sony defecated on the bed, and now the PlayStation Network is full of a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
The same thing is happening to the Switch, where it used to have a very well curated set of games on there, and now there's a lot of rubbish getting its way on there.
Yeah. I would say it's even worse though, because from what I've seen, it's, you know, like some things look like those random apps you find on the Play Store, and I think it's even worse than the PSN, to be honest. I don't think you find those kind of things on it.
Yeah. You know what I think Steam, PlayStation Network, Switch, all of these online storefronts need? Remember when Steam had curation?
Yeah.
Actual... I mean, it still has them, but it's not very well implemented. I think that all of these services need curation systems where you will only see games if you follow curators that approve of these games.
Yeah.
So you'll have a curator for JRPGs, you'll have a curator for, say, action games, and of course, these would be run by actual people who follow the store closely. And so if you think, well, I only really play JRPGs, so I'll follow this JRPG guy, but maybe I might want to dip my hand a little bit into action games every now and again, so I'll also follow this guy who curates action games.
Yeah. That would be
something like what Steam did and failed to do.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that thing.
But that's never going to happen. Sony's online architecture's already broken beyond belief. That storefront, I did not think it could get worse than Steam. But Sony somehow has a worse storefront than Steam.
What really annoys me is that they had at some point, I don't remember exactly when, but the PS4 store had at some point a decent interface, and then they completely destroyed it for some reason. I don't know why. It just makes
By the
no
way-
sense.
By the way, you can now buy Restore Pill 2s
Oh.
at the store.
Oh, that's useful. I need some. My pills. I need pills.
Actually, can I do...
I already have them, actually. Never mind.
Huh? Well, at least they're more available.
Yeah.
Before we had to get them as drops, but now we can just get them whenever we want.
Yep. Yeah, my inventory is full, so... and I have a lot in backup. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't get what's happening with the Sony store, because even the categories and shit, like when I try to browse it and find some type of content, it's just like a pain in the ass to find what I'm looking for. It's really bad. The PS3 store is even better.
So, Sony, they made the store go from... They made the store go from a grid system to a list system.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing about lists. They only work if you're on a PC.
Yeah. Also, I find it kind of annoying how there's no easy way to get access to the standard kind of list, I guess. Not just previews of like things they want to show, if it makes any sense. Sometimes you have to fiddle around in order to find let's say the entire selection of game or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe.
Yeah.
It really pisses me off. I wish they would just put like, oh, here's the JRPG section, and then you get all the JRPGs in one place.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
know.
find.
It's so difficult to sort through all of the... It's so difficult to... There are almost no sorting options. Actually, one thing I wish... This is what Steam does, but again, it's one of those things that I think are very poorly implemented. User-created tags.
Uh-huh.
I think well, it's not like you can have every tag in existence. It's not like users can make whatever tags they want. But if it's a tag that keeps on reoccurring, then you should be able to sort by those user-created tags. So let's say someone makes a tag called Weeaboo Bullshit. That's right up my alley. I just go to the Weeaboo Bullshit tag, and there you go. There's all my Neptunia.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you. But yeah, it's man.
I mean, of course, it would be very difficult to implement these things because we do not know Sony's architecture. From what I've read online, the online architecture is already horrible.
Wait,
Commencing phase 1. This chapter
game cancelled because the connection was unstable. Try again. Oh yeah.
patching everyone into shields
Okay, never
intel.
mind.
Okay.
For some reason, it was disconnecting me for. I mean, I don't know.
So, you know how we're kind of up here on this cliff right now?
Uh huh.
One thing I really hate about the God Eater games is that you cannot do anything on this
Something
cliff.
wrong?
Yeah, you cannot do
Guys?
anything.
I mean, if I could, right now, what I would do is I would use OP ampules and load my gun as much as possible.
But you cannot.
You cannot... there's no point. You might as well just start the character right here on the ground.
Yep. That is true.
It's just really annoying.
Scouts report a scion is carving a path. 1 minute to
Yep.
mission area. I'm sending the arrival point to your
We'll be ready.
I'm just taking in OP ampule so I can start spamming my gun immediately. It's the freeze blaze. I cannot remember this. I cannot remember what this thing's weak to.
But that reminds me of the other day when I went into the PSVR section and all it had was some ads for certain games, and I had to click at a certain spot to find the entire selection, and I couldn't find it. I was like, where the fuck is it? And then, I don't know.
I know, it feels like navigate. It feels like the PlayStation Online store was built with a mouse and keyboard in mind. Actually, you know what I hate? I hate the search function.
Oh yeah, I hate it too.
Oh, you have to type in one letter at a time, and you have to scroll through each letter. Never mind the fact that there's already a virtual keyboard on the PS4.
Yeah, and have you seen the Japanese store? It's actually, you have to type it manually, like we wish we would do on.
Yeah.
So why do we have in Europe and America, like why do we have to do it this way but not the Japanese? I don't get it. It's so annoying to manually scroll down each letter one by one, and then I don't know. They've introduced this on the PS3 actually. I remember a little bit before the PS4 came out, they started to use that system, and I thought it was bullshit.
I know. What's wrong? Again, grids work very well with console. Lists off a PC.
Yep. I don't know. Something
Block!
don't make sense. Oh, I did manage to block. That's amazing.
I'd probably be better at telling you to block if I had better spatial awareness in this game.
It's breaking away. Looks like it's after some food.
Yeah, but because of the store, it's very easy to miss good games sometimes. I'm sure a lot of people miss some games because of that.
Man, it's so rare that we defecate on Sony.
The thing is, it might not seem like it, but I will shit on anything if there's a good reason to, even if it's something I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've talked about this with Falcon before.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I really hate it. For example, when I say something bad about Exceed, let's say, people say, "Oh, why do you have such a hate boner for Exceed?" No, I just if something is wrong, I'll say it, and I could say it for anything, really. It's just, but people don't want to listen to what I'm saying. I'm just a hater. I just hate on it for the sake of hating. Oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like we want to keep standards high.
Yeah.
So, I actually remember having I'm not sure if we talked about this, but I was having a conversation about elitism with someone before, and I said that not elitism, gatekeeping. But I said that gatekeeping was, I think that gatekeeping is arguably a good thing. Okay, because the reason why gatekeeping exists, at least in my opinion, is to keep what I call shitters out. You know, people who shit up a community, who make things worse. They lower the standards. And that's what this is like for me. If I talk feces about something, if I talk negatively, if I say I'm playing with let's say I'm playing with someone, and let's say I'm playing with someone, and it's a game that I'm pretty serious, as well as serious as you can get be with a video game. So, you know, I hold anyone who plays So I have high standards when it comes to how I play. I have high standards to when other people play. And then suddenly this guy comes in, wants to be a part of the community, and goes like, "Oh, I don't care about your standards. Just let me do whatever I want." No, you fine, play the game you want. But if you're going to be a part of a community, if you're going to be a fan, you should hold whatever you partake in to a higher standard. You shouldn't just accept things as how they are.
Yeah.
And it's like we've talked about. I really just hate it when people will put things up on a pedestal.
I know, right? It's
The origami is breaking off its attack
I don't know.
Do you think you
There's
will
no
find this place?
you cannot win anyway, so I waste time trying to put some sense into these people, but they will never listen. So whatever. I think it's important to say what you think, but even if some people say, "Oh, it's useless," just don't waste your time. But if no one says anything, nothing will change, you know? You know what I'm saying? Even if what I do is useless, at least I'm doing something. That's what I'm
I think
doing.
it's dub.
Oh, okay. I didn't see a... Okay, it's time for dinner. Nom nom.
Actually, I just thought of another module we should equip on your weapons. There's a... remember the skill Devour HP Absorb or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get that so every time you devour an enemy, you get HP back.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
I remember that you had that in Resurrection as well.
Yeah, I did. Indeed. If only people were not blinded by whatever, I don't know, love or unconditional love they have for things.
I'm only beating you up because I love you!
It seems like, yeah, I don't know, beat up wife or husband always coming back for more. That's just what it makes me think of when I think about that. And then congratulating and saying that it's, this is the right thing to do. This is, yeah, sure.
So, well,
Stockholm
You know-
syndrome, I guess, sort of. I don't know.
I made the joke saying it's like beating your wife because you love her, but really it's more like saying to your wife, "Hey, look, your food isn't that good. Here's some things you can do to make your cooking better."
Yeah.
Or, "You're acting like an idiot. Please stop." It's not. You're not insulting them. You're telling them how to better themselves. But people think it's like beating your wife.
Yeah, actually, it's very unhealthy to not do it,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, unhealthy to not say what's wrong. I'm not saying it's unhealthy to not beat your wife.
but really, it's like those people who say it's like those people who can't take criticism.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's to them it's like, those people who say really stupid things on the internet and people tell them how what they're saying is stupid and then they just go like, stop harassing me.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's like that.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not harassing you, I'm just telling you you're being kind of an idiot and here's what you're getting wrong and here's how you can be correct.
I remember, it's not, I mean, about what we said earlier when I talked about Exceed, someone told me, oh, just because they don't release every single Kiseki game ever doesn't mean you have to act like that. And I'm just saying, man, I'm just saying, if they don't do anything soon, it's gonna be bad for Falcom, and that's just a fact, Falcom wants to have their games out as soon as possible in the West now. That's a thing that has been said multiple times, and I'm just saying what I...
They're a company, they want money,
Yeah.
and if they can't get money from one avenue, they'll get money from another avenue.
Exactly, so I was just, that's what I'm thinking when I say that, but no, the way they translate what I say is, no, just because they don't do anything you want doesn't mean. Shut up. That reminds me of those extreme cases where people would actually send death threats just because someone has a different opinion. Like, you know, I'm gonna kill you because you don't think the same thing as me. Oh, sure. Like console wars and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, he likes the Xbox, I'm gonna murder this guy. How dare doesn't he think like me? I have the supreme taste. I am the center of the universe. I just think it's funny, you know, to be honest. That even grown-up men would actually act like that. I don't know.
I'm recovering. Just a moment.
Oh, you didn't buy the same car as me? You're a loser! I'm gonna kill you!
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I know, right?
I'm recovering. Just a moment. The origami has fallen.
Could you imagine if it was the same for your wife or husband?
Oh yeah.
You don't love my wife? I'm gonna beat you up, man!
You will fuck my wife and you will like it!
I remember when we joked about that.
I know, that's what I was kind of making a reference to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know.
It's breaking away.
It's taking forever to kill.
Looks like it's after some food.
Yeah, so we're just going to end after this because it's already been an hour.
Yeah. That's a good stopping point. Plus, I'm really struggling to navigate this dungeon. It's tiring for my eyes a lot. Oh man! Hopefully this thing dies soon. I don't know when it's gonna die, but
I order you to fall back and heal now.
I think there's a way to see the HP bar, but I'm not sure. I saw.
It's almost dead actually. You can see it if Ciel is in the party.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why people say, we live in a cuck generation.
Primary target erratic.
Because of that phenomenon.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be happy if no one wanted my waifu.
Same.
If no one else loved Yuffie but me, Yuffie Kisaragi from Final Fantasy VII but me, then you know what? That's great. She's all mine.
Yeah. Exactly. Isn't it a great thing? I would rather have people tell me I have shit-tasted waifu than having the same as everybody else, to be honest. That's actually kind of what's happening anyway.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe popular characters, but I do have popular tastes sometimes, like, you know, Kurumi, I know she's incredibly popular, or even 02, I think she's a great waifu, to be honest. I like the teasing, smug type.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having normie taste. The problem lies when you become when you are a normie.
Yep. Indeed.
I say normie. I miss saying normal fag. I've gotten so used to saying normie.
I guess I'm glad to be an Amelia fag.
Yes, you bloody Amelia fag, despite the fact that Rem is so much better, to the point where she's the one that gets all the merchandise.
Yeah, I'm a hipster.
Okay, less people having sex with your waifu. So,
anyway.
yeah, so this is a good place to end, talking about I'm going down the recording now.
Same.
戦えファルコムちゃんザナゾーの正義のために
決めポーズよゴー！ミシシ